welcome along to World Football Summit. It is great to kick things off. I'm Ben Jacobs from talkSport. Thank you for the introduction. Alongside me, Pierluigi Collina. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
morning, everybody.
Chief. And are there any Manchester United fans in the room? Stick your hands up. First of all, commiserations. You're not doing so well at the moment, but this was the man in the middle for the famous 1999 Champions League final. We might speak about that in just a moment. But we're going to get some insight into what it's like to be a referee, technology, and how it's evolving, and the relationship between players and the men or women in the middle. Let's start with VAR. I think everybody in the room will be familiar with what it is. Give me a little bit of insight into its evolution and what's the rollout like now across the football world.
Well, again, from my side, good morning and thank you for coming. It's amazing because it seems that football didn't exist without VAR. It seems that we had this technology since the beginning of football. But I remember a day in Belfast, Northern Ireland. It was November 2014, so only 11 years ago. And that was the first time seated at the table with people from IFAB, which is the laws of the game governing body. We start thinking of how to help referees in their decision-making process by introducing a tool that could have helped them and prevent mistakes from being committed. So 11 years ago, we started from zero. 11 years after, VAR has been implemented in 63 countries. All the most important competitions around the world has this technology. And it had already evolved. So we are not anymore at the phase 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, it evolved a lot. So I want to say that because it is important not to forget that there is still something to do, and this is what we do every day. We try to improve, to introduce something new. But it worked very well so far. We are very happy. We had it for the first time at the Confederation Cup 2017 in Russia, and then the World Cup 2018. And I repeat, since then, all most important competitions around the world have seen VAR implemented.
And what were some of the early challenges?
Well, at the very beginning was something completely new. So we had to get our match officials familiar with using it, but I would say also the other football stakeholders, because it was something completely new in football. But during the last years, we have seen that today is very well accepted. Match officials, both on the field of play and in front of the monitors, they are now masters in using that. So we are happy, but nevertheless there are some things to be improved, and as I said before, we worked on it. One among the others, just to give you an example, is the time needed by the assistant referees to raise a flag. You know that they had to delay this flag to let the play go on until something ends up, to be able to recheck what happened on the monitor. If they would flag immediately, they killed the action and they couldn't do anything. But you know that this makes not really understandable why players have to run, and then let's say everything goes back. So we introduced an evolution of this technology, which is named after semi-automated offside technology, and an information comes almost immediately to the assistant referees and the referee on the field of play, so they can make the decision immediately.
Yeah, we'll come on to semi-automated offside technology in a bit more detail in a moment. But I'm keen to get your thoughts on how we get this balance between VAR getting decisions right, but still ensuring the referee in the middle of the field has autonomy.
Well, decision lies on the referees. The responsibility lies on the referees and assistant referees. The vast majority of the decisions are taken without the possibility of VAR to intervene. You know that there is a limited number of incidents or kind of incidents where the tool can be used. So I repeat, the vast majority of the decisions are taken without, but our referees are taught to make decision thinking that there is nothing to help them, because this is the way to approach. One of the challenges, if I can go back, is a change of approach, of mentality, because referees, when they start from grassroots and go through categories, they are told your decision is final and you have to defend your decision against everything and everybody. And VAR, the approach you need is to be ready to change your mind, to change your decision. So you have not to approach the review on the monitor with the same mentality. I go there and I try to defend as much as possible my decision. You have to go there, open mind, and see what really happened in that specific moment, in that specific incident, which is not a minor change, because, I repeat, you grow up with this kind of mentality, and changing when you are already a referee is not easy. So probably next generations, for the next generation, will be definitely easier to do that.
And how, whether at grassroots level or obviously elite, can you train an official to ref a game using VAR? Because you won't be able to replicate the intensity of a big game and the speed at which decisions have to be made when somebody's at the formative stage of their refereeing career.
Well, training referees in a very, very particular aspect, because I never refereed the match as a training session. So basically, referees train most of the time in terms of physical performances, but they have not the opportunity to referee games as a training session, as players do. So this is something that in our competition, in FIFA competition, we are trying to deal with. So during the preparatory seminar before a competition, but also during our competitions, we have players, normally under 20 players, and they help our referees to prepare themselves before and during the competition. Basically, they play not entire matches, but situations, which are the most probable situation that the referee can find in the next match. So the two teams are taught by our coaches to do what the teams the referee will referee will do in their matches. Same with VAR. Of course, we have tools that give us our referees the possibility to practice, to train, but at the end is the match, as well as for players. You can train, but what makes the real difference is the capability to do things live during a match.
So I think most people in the room will understand VAR. What about FVS? Raise your hands if anybody knows what FVS stands for. I'll give you a clue.
We have a very expert in football. Congratulations. Okay.
He's got a little FIFA jersey on, so he's got the cheat notes. Football Video Support. That's what it stands for. And I think it might be quite interesting to many of you in the room, because if you're part of a federation, it may be something that you can utilize if you're not already doing so. What is the difference between VAR and Football Video Support?
It's a huge difference. VAR has been very, very successful, as I said before. Many countries, many member associations, many competitions have implemented, but less than those who would really like to do that. VAR is a very sophisticated tool. It's very expensive, but also needs human resources, because in a match you have a minimum of 2 video match officials plus 1 review operator in front of a monitor. Not all the member associations, not all the federations, not all the competition organizers have so many match officials and operators available for a competition, for matches. So since the very beginning, we thought that the next step would have been finding a solution for all, for those competitions, organizers and federation who cannot implement VAR. Something more affordable, something which is less expensive, something that doesn't need too many match officials operating the technology. So we start testing this, and the most important difference between VAR and Football Video Support, there are no video match officials in front of the screen. So basically, nobody is checking every incident which is occurring during the match. The possibility to make the Football Video Support intervening is given the coaches. So the coaches have the possibility twice a match to request the referee to perform a review in front of a monitor which is besides the pitch. The coaches have the final decision, but they can be recommended by their players, because coaches very often are far away from where an incident may occur. And players are very close. Sometimes they are directly involved. So the players have the possibility to recommend, by twirling a finger in the air, the coach to make the review. I repeat, twice a match. If you win, you keep your request. If you lose, let's say if you lose the request, you lose it. We are testing. We tested it in our competition, in FIFA competition, under 20, women under 20 and women under 17 last year. And in the last couple of weeks, competitions in Spain and in Italy, both male and female, professional competitions in both countries started. Also, United States will do something, Brazil did something, AFC will do something. So we are very confident that this test will offer a positive result, giving the possibility, I repeat, many more competition organizers and federations to implement this technology, which ideally work in matches covered by a limited number of cameras. So forget to see everything, because these are matches covered by 2, 3, 4 cameras. So you cannot see everything as VAR does. But nevertheless, a major mistake can be prevented from being committed.
And it adds a bit of drama, doesn't it, as well, if the coach has to twirl the finger up in the air?
Well, it's not new, because it was already something existing in other sports. It worked, so we are confident that it will be good. It will be interesting.
In terms of other technology, let's delve a little bit more into semi-automated offside technology. We've seen it roll out in the Premier League very effectively. The flag goes up. The play doesn't always need to continue, therefore. That could prevent an injury. It also saves time too. How pleased are you with the implementation of semi-automated offside technology, and how much does that enhance VAR overall?
I tell you that we are very happy. I have to commend FIFA Innovation, which is the division within FIFA who deals with all these things. The semi-automated offside technology you mentioned is the last evolution. This started for a different reason, not the time to be saved, but to be. You may remember that technology was commended. Goal line technology, to be precise, was praised when it was able to see a goal or a non-goal by 1 centimeter. Everyone was very happy and commenting, oh, that technology is great. We can see 1 centimeter the ball crossed over the line or not. But then, when the technology, VAR, was used for offside, 1 centimeter was a mess. Nobody believed. The main reason, the goal line technology has no human intervention. It's the technology itself. When video assistant referees had to draw the lines, was a human intervention. And many were not happy with this. So we thought that something similar to goal line technology, without any human intervention in detecting the position of players on the field of play, might have been a solution. And this was the first semi-automatic offside implementation. So we had players, you may know, 29 relevant points of the body. Data are sent 50 times per second. In Qatar, World Cup 2022, we introduced the so-called connected ball. So we have a ball sending data 500 times per second. Every time hit something or is hit by something, because you know for offside is relevant the position of the players, but also when the ball is touched by a teammate, and also the graphic, because with the goal line technology you see the position of the ball and then you see the graphic, and you see the line, the ball, and everyone clapping the hand. We had the 3-dimension, because sometimes it's very difficult to understand the position of the player, the position of a part of the body of the player with 2-dimension. With a 3-dimension, so with sort of wall where you can see where the position of the player is very, very easy to be seen and understood. So this was the first implementation of semi-automated offset technology, and then it was developed and reached this because, as I said at the very beginning, we tried to minimize the time between the incident and the decision. Sometimes the incident is very complicated to be assessed, so having a technology providing you or the match officials with an answer immediately or very quickly give us the possibility to buy time.
And I think because we can see the visuals and more broadly there's transparency around the decision-making process. We know that some VAR conversations, the audio is released, but what we saw at the Club World Cup was a very interesting piece of new innovation, and that was the referee's camera. So now we can actually see a goal or an incident directly through the eyes of the referee.
Yeah, I have to say, we start thinking of this. One of those who believed very much is Romy Guy, who will be on this stage later on. We had many thoughts, many conversations on this tool, on this evolution. The main purpose was to offer TV viewers a new experience, to see something from a complete different perspective, to see what the referee can see during the match, which is also an answer, because when you are in front of a television and you see something and you think that the referee made a mistake, you say, how is possible he didn't see? And now with this camera, which is not a body camera, is a nice camera, because it's positioned at the highest level and really gives viewers the possibility to see what the referee can see. Because if you position the camera here and you rotate your head, it's different. If it's here, you rotate and you exactly see the same. So you can see what the referee is able to see. And maybe you understand that in that precise moment, a player obstructed the line of vision of the referee, and the referee couldn't see. We had an example at the Club World Cup 26. The match was Atletico Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain. An handball incident was not seen by the referee exactly for this reason, because the player's body was covering the arm, and the referee couldn't see the impact between the ball and the arm. Simply using a different camera, this was able, and the decision was taken based on the VAR intervention. So we had seen beautiful goals scored from this unique perspective. It has also, I would say, a value in terms of refereeing coaching, because you can understand where he was positioned, and from that position we can understand what the referee was able to see or not. So it's useful also from our point of view, for our purposes.
So we're just over half time, and
I can tell you, one of the comments we received, the result went beyond our expectations. We didn't think that it would have worked so well. And at the beginning, the first comment was, wow, we would like to have it in all the matches. And the next one was, wow, we would like to have it in all sports. So amazing success.
So we're just over halfway through, so we're going to move on from technology and speak a little bit about the mindset of a referee and also the pressure that comes with it as well. Before we do that though, something very interesting in the Premier League, the officials now are announcing in stadium all of the decisions. That adds again to the transparency, it enhances the drama, it's added value to broadcasters as well. Would you have enjoyed in your day having to announce your big decisions?
Well, it would have been something not easy, as it is not easy, but we think, we are convinced that it brings clarity to what the decision is and why the decision was taken. We started testing it, you have seen in Premier League, and I'm very pleased that you have mentioned this, but we started already beginning 2023 testing it in our competitions, and all FIFA competition had these referee announcements in VAR related decisions since then. We had a challenge, I would say, because Premier League referees, easy for them to do it, to perform an announcement in English. They are all English mother tongue. Sometimes they are coming, if they are coming from some region of England, not easy to understand the accent, but imagine in our competition we have the vast majority of the referees who are not English mother tongue, so you add pressure, because they have to not only to make the decision but also to explain which decision was taken and why the decision was taken. But we have seen that it was working, and that's why we recommended IFAB to put it as an opportunity to be taken by competitions organizer and member associations worldwide, and we are pleased that many, among the others, Premier League did it in a very, very successful way. I repeat, it's not changing the life of spectators, but knowing which was the reason why the referee took a decision, I think is an add value, is an interesting add value given particularly to the stadium spectators who have not the possibility to see many images on their screen. So it worked well. We are happy with this.
We'll talk about the qualities needed to be a top referee in a moment, but first I'm wondering, What made you want to become a referee?
Well, there is not a book where you can read how to become a top referee, but certainly one word is very important: work. I think you cannot become a top referee, I would say also a top player, a top performer, a top in every field of activity without working very hard. Of course, you need some talent, and this is given you by birth, but you need to work hard, and this is what I always did when I was an active referee, and this is what I try to explain young referees at the very beginning of their career, or top referees who have to continue to work very hard if they want to be at the level modern football requires. I'm very pleased that Mr. Windsor mentioned the ASEAN trio who refereed the FIFA Club World Cup 25 final, and they are an example because Alireza Fagani and the two assistants worked very hard during the last years, despite some problems that Alireza had, but he came back stronger, and I'm very pleased that he had the opportunity to referee this final. So I repeat, the most important thing is to be ready to work very hard. You cannot imagine probably how many things are needed to be on the field of play. It's not a matter of, as it was in the past, knowing the laws of the game and being fit. Today is much more. Today you need to really know football, because knowing the laws of the game for a referee is not enough anymore. You need to know things before they are happening. You cannot only react to something that already happened. And this makes the difference, and this is something that was clear to me since I was active. I remember at the World Cup 2002, Korea and Japan, before the final, I asked the people from the organization to give me the VHS. You remember the VHS? There was a time that there was this strange kind of thing that gives the possibility to review something. So I got all the videotape of the matches played by Brazil and Germany, and I spent 1.5 days in my room with a video recorder to play forward and backward all these matches. And this is the way to know before what can happen in a match, because players normally repeat what they did. Today is easy. Today is easier because you have a platform. You simply type a couple of things, and you get all the work done by them. But I repeat, this is the only way to prepare and to be ready for a match.
So we have the prep, the speed and fitness, the knowledge, obviously, of the rules as well. Would it be fair to add mental toughness too?
Yeah, this is a very personal part of the preparation, because we as human beings are different. But the mental aspect, when you deal with something which is definitely very difficult, and you work under a very heavy pressure, the mental aspect is very important. We had in our staff, which support referees before and during a competition, we have specialists in dealing with this, as well as players have specialists in their staff. It is important. It is important to have a personalized way to solve a problem, if there is a problem. But it's very personal, I repeat. So something that works for me may not work for you, as an example.
But even a mentally tough referee will be affected by discrimination. Fans are not always going to like decisions, particularly if they go against the team that they support. how do we ensure that referees remain authoritative and respected? Because discrimination broadly in football always gets discussed, but I'm talking specifically, how do we protect our referees from discrimination?
This is something that is very close to my heart. And I'm not talking of the referees I work with in a World Cup environment or at this level. I'm more concerned about grassroots football, youth football, because unfortunately, not only discrimination, but also verbal, physical abuse are very common at this level. And this is not something not acceptable, not understandable, and not acceptable. This is like a cancer. This is like a cancer and may kill our future, may kill the future of football. How can we taught values to youngsters who play football when you see their parents verbally or physically abuse another youngster who is simply wearing a different shirt? This is not understandable. At this level, players are simply learning how to do things together in a team, which is something they will need when they will become adult, because they will work in a team environment. Only very, 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 very few of them will have the possibility to get the top of football. Very limited number, 0.000x%. But their parents, the parents of the kids, are thinking that all their kids are getting the new Messi, Ronaldo, or whoever. We need to think of it. We need to be very concerned of it, because it's becoming intolerable, and I think is enough. Enough is enough. It's too much what we are seeing today. All people, all stakeholders in football have to take action with this, against this.
At elite level, we've seen some mechanisms in place to protect the referee. For example, the captain will speak to the referee. You've obviously got the cards in your pocket if you need to use them as well. What's your perspective on where we're at elite level?
It is important. It's important. This is linked to the other aspect, because it's a top-down message. Kids look football on television, and they try to replicate what they see on television. So if they get a positive message from the top football, this is something very important for them. This kind of relationship between captains, improved relationship between captains and referees have been implemented since last Olympics and Euros. These are the first two competitions which implemented it. Is a win-win solution, because captains are more responsible for their role, but they also receive from referees some explanation in key moments, in key decisions. So it's something that makes both captains and referees doing better their job, or in an easier way.
Before all of this protection for referees and technology, you were in the middle. It was pretty much just you and your crew, and yet you were respected, you were best in class. You didn't have a problem with people undermining your authority. People think, wrongly in my opinion, that there was just a fear factor about you. But there was surely more to it.
The blue eyes.
Well, that's the thing. People say the eyes. There's got to be more to it than that, though. Why do you think you had such a great relationship with managers and players?
maybe you have to ask, you have Mr. Cappello here, maybe he can, he can ask. We were not on the same position. We disagreed. It happened. On the field of play is normal to disagree on something. But what is very important is to trust each other. And I think this is the most important thing. I always try to be on the field of play at the level of the players, not lower, not above, same level. Try to understand them and trying to believe in the way I thought was needed at the moment. You said before it's a matter of fear, but if you look, if you Google, if you go on internet, you find many different expressions of myself, from smiling to be quite tough, simply because different moments and different reactions to different moments. I think this is something important. I always lived the match, every moment of the match, trying to find the best solution to deal with the specific moment.
I think we've got about 5 minutes left, and I want to ask you, what was your most memorable match as a referee?
Well, I had the privilege to referee many top matches, but World Cup is World Cup. So I had the privilege, the honor to be one of the few referees who had a World Cup final, referee the World Cup final. So certainly 2002 Yokohama, Germany, Brazil was the most memorable match for myself.
And then, of course,
Definitely.
there was the 1999.
Yeah, probably, certainly because the very particular ending, because, okay, we are talking of Champions League final, so certainly something great, but the match, the 90 minutes were a very normal match. What made the difference in the history of football, the 3 minutes of stoppage time when Man United managed to score twice in, if I'm not wrong, 2 minutes and 34 seconds. So certainly this made that match memorable, not only for me, for everybody in football. The ultimate Champions League final.
And you said that you would watch games back with the VHS. As you look back on your career, is there a moment or a decision that you're most proud of? And at the other extreme, is there anything that you regret having watched it back?
Well, I didn't regret, or I do not regret of anything, because I always tried to do my best. And when you do that, you have to accept when something doesn't work. This is normal for everybody. We are human beings, and our nature is to be wrong sometimes, or to make mistakes sometimes. What you have to do is to minimize the possibility to make these mistakes. So this is what I always did. What I learned is, as we need to be very, very strong on the field of play, referee's job is very difficult, and you need to be very, very self-confident. What you need to do is to understand why you were wrong, and once you understood, you have to forget that you were wrong. So I forgot all the mistake I made during my career, but I remember very well some key decisions which were not related to important matches. Every decision, every match is important, and I'm very happy to have made good decisions in those matches.
And just finally, let's talk about the future of the modern referee. You've outlined some fascinating innovation now. What might we see in the next 5 or 10 years?
I have not a crystal ball, so it's difficult to predict what next. If I would have spoken with you in 2014, I would never have told you, or we would never have thought that we would have been here talking of so many technology in football. So honestly, it's difficult to me to predict. What I'm sure doesn't matter the technology we will have a human being responsible for the final decision. The referee will continue to be responsible for the final decision.
Fascinating stuff. It's been really great to speak to Pierluigi. I have to wrap it there. We could speak for another hour, but I can tell you one thing. If I don't keep to time when I'm talking with a referee, I will be in big trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Pierluigi Collina a massive round.